The power of focusing on yourself is one of the most transformative principles you can embrace in life. Too often, people lose themselves by directing all their energy toward others, seeking approval, comparing their journey, or trying to live up to standards that were never their own. But when you shift that attention inward and begin to invest in yourself, you unlock a version of you that is stronger, calmer, and more aligned with your purpose. One of the greatest lessons in life is learning where to direct your energy. Every day, people lose countless hours worrying about things they cannot change, what others think of them, how people behave, or circumstances beyond their control. This is not only unproductive, but it also drains the mental, emotional, and spiritual energy that could be used to build a better life. When you focus on yourself, you reclaim that power, you stop pouring energy into areas that yield nothing, and you begin to invest it into growth, progress, and self-mastery. Think about how often people get stuck in comparison. They look at someone else's achievements, lifestyle, or success and feel inferior. They may even burn themselves out trying to compete in arenas that were never meant for them. But comparison is a thief of energy. You cannot control another person's journey. You cannot dictate their talents, timing, or blessings. What you can control is your effort, your mindset, and your willingness to grow. By keeping your attention on yourself, you avoid the trap of comparison and instead channel your energy into your own path. Another way people waste energy is by trying to change others. This might happen in relationships, friendships, or even in family dynamics. You may hope someone will treat you differently, think differently, or suddenly live up to your expectations. But here's the truth: you cannot change anyone who does not want to change. The more you try to fix them, the more frustrated and powerless you feel. Focusing on yourself shifts that energy inward. Instead of trying to control another person's behavior, you focus on how you respond, how you grow, and how you protect your peace. This doesn't just make you stronger, it also naturally shifts your environment. When you change yourself, people either adjust to meet your new standards or they naturally fall away. External circumstances also play a role. Life is full of events that are beyond your influence: economic shifts, the opinions of others, even unexpected setbacks. Many people dwell on these situations, complaining or stressing over them, but no amount of worry will change them. Energy spent on resistance is wasted energy. When you focus on yourself, you redirect that energy into preparation and adaptability. You ask, how can I improve my skills so I'm ready for opportunities? How can I strengthen my mindset so challenges don't break me? How can I build habits that keep me consistent regardless of outside circumstances? This approach ensures that while the world may be unpredictable, you remain steady. Focusing on yourself also helps you conserve emotional energy. Think about how many arguments or conflicts escalate because people feel the need to prove themselves, to be right, or to defend their pride. Most of these situations are not worth the stress. By focusing inward, you learn that you don't need to win every argument or convince every critic. You understand that your worth isn't determined by external validation, but by internal confidence. This shift allows you to walk away from negativity without guilt, saving energy for things that truly matter. Ultimately, focusing on yourself is about efficiency. Imagine your energy as a currency. You only have a limited amount each day. If you spend it all worrying about what others are doing, trying to control uncontrollable situations, or getting lost in drama, you'll end the day empty-handed. But if you invest it into your growth, reading, exercising, learning, building, reflecting, you multiply your energy. It compounds into confidence, skills, and opportunities that shape your future. The truth is simple: your energy is your power. Waste it on what you cannot control, and you will always feel drained. Focus it on yourself, and you will always feel empowered. The more you master this principle, the more peace, progress, and strength you will have in your life. Many people mistake focusing on themselves for selfishness. Society often teaches us that putting ourselves first is wrong, that prioritizing our needs means neglecting others. But this belief is misleading. There is a profound difference between selfishness and self-focus. Selfishness is about taking from others, disregarding their needs, and acting only for personal gain. Self-focus, on the other hand, is about nurturing your inner world so you can grow, improve, and ultimately contribute more to those around you. It is not about neglecting others. It is about strengthening yourself so you can show up better for others. Self-awareness is the starting point of self-focus. Without awareness, You drift through life influenced by the opinions, expectations, and pressures of others. You may end up living a life that doesn't belong to you, pursuing careers, relationships, or goals that don't align with who you really are. Self-focus invites you to pause and ask, who am I? What do I value? What do I want my life to stand for? These questions lead to clarity, and clarity is power. When you know yourself, you make decisions that align with your true purpose rather than chasing temporary approval. Another key part of self-focus is growth. When you invest time and energy into improving yourself, you become stronger in every area of life. Growth doesn't mean striving for perfection. It means becoming better than you were yesterday. It could be as simple as learning a new skill, practicing discipline, improving your health, or developing emotional intelligence. Every act of growth builds momentum, and that momentum transforms your life. People who prioritize self-growth don't just become better for themselves, they also inspire those around them to rise higher. Consider this: you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you neglect yourself, if you ignore your needs, if you constantly sacrifice your well-being to please others, eventually you will burn out. A person who is drained cannot give love, energy, or support effectively. But when you focus on yourself, your health, your peace, your purpose, you refill your cup. From that place of strength, you can give to others without resentment or exhaustion. That is not selfishness, that is wisdom. Self-focus also protects you from being lost in comparison. When you are not grounded in who you are, you constantly measure yourself against others, chasing validation and recognition. This creates a cycle of insecurity where your worth is always tied to someone else's achievements. But when you are focused inward, you are too busy improving yourself to envy others. You realize that your only competition is who you were yesterday. This mindset creates peace and allows you to celebrate others' success without feeling diminished by it. Another aspect of self-focus is learning to set boundaries. When you know your worth, you stop allowing people to misuse your time, your energy, or your kindness. Boundaries are not walls. They are filters that protect your peace and direct your focus where it truly matters. By setting boundaries, you teach others how to treat you, and you create space for relationships that are healthy and supportive. Finally, self-focus is about alignment. When your actions match your values and your growth reflects your true potential, you feel a deep sense of fulfillment. You are no longer living on autopilot, you are living intentionally. That intentionality radiates into every part of your life, your career, your relationships, your mindset. And ironically, by focusing on yourself, you often become a source of strength and inspiration for others. People respect those who know themselves, those who stand firm in their truth, and those who grow consistently. In the end, self-focus is not selfish, it is necessary. It is the foundation of growth, clarity, and inner peace. It is how you discover your purpose, build resilience, and create a life that is meaningful. When you take care of yourself, when you grow into your best version, you don't just win for yourself, you win for everyone connected to you. Peace is one of the most valuable treasures you can have in life. It is the foundation of clarity, happiness, and strength. Yet in today's world, peace is constantly under attack. There are endless distractions, negative influences, and energy-draining situations that try to pull your attention away from what truly matters. Protecting your peace is not a luxury, it is a necessity. And the way you protect it is by learning how to say no. Many people struggle with the word no. They fear disappointing others, being judged, or missing out on opportunities. As a result, they say yes to everything, yes to drama, yes to unhealthy relationships, yes to commitments that drain them. But every unnecessary yes is a no to yourself. It's a no to your growth, your goals, and your mental health. When you learn to say no to distractions and negativity, you are really saying yes to your peace, your focus, and your future. Distractions come in many forms. Sometimes they are external, social media, endless scrolling, gossip, or wasting time on things that add no value. Other times they are internal, self-doubt, overthinking, or dwelling on the past. Distractions steal your time, and time is the most precious resource you have. The difference between someone who grows and someone who stays stuck often comes down to how well they manage distractions. Protecting your peace means being intentional about where your attention goes. Ask yourself, does this activity bring me closer to my goals? Does this habit nourish my mind and body? Does this relationship support my growth? If the answer is no, then you must be strong enough to walk away. Negativity is another enemy of peace. Negative people, toxic environments, and pessimistic thinking all drain your energy. Spending time around negativity is like inhaling smoke. It slowly suffocates your spirit. Some people thrive on drama and chaos, and if you are not careful, they will drag you into it. Protecting your peace means refusing to participate in gossip, arguments, or unnecessary conflict. It means distancing yourself from people who constantly bring problems, but never solutions. It also means monitoring your own thoughts, because negativity doesn't just come from others, it can come from within. When you catch yourself spiraling into negative self-talk, you must redirect your mind toward gratitude, solutions, and possibilities. Saying no to distractions and negativity requires courage. It might mean walking away from friendships that no longer serve you. It might mean turning down opportunities that don't align with your values. It might even mean setting boundaries with family members who don't respect your peace. At first, this can feel uncomfortable. People may accuse you of being cold, selfish, or distant. But remember, protecting your peace is not about pleasing others, it's about preserving your well-being. Over time, the people who truly respect and love you will understand, and those who don't will naturally fall away. Protecting your peace also requires discipline. You must create routines that keep you centered, such as meditation, journaling, exercising, or spending time in nature. These practices help you strengthen your mind so you are less vulnerable to distractions and negativity. When you are grounded in peace, you are not easily shaken by outside chaos. You become calm in the storm, steady under pressure, and clear in decision-making. The truth is, peace is power. A peaceful mind makes better decisions. A peaceful heart creates stronger relationships. A peaceful life allows you to focus on what truly matters, your growth, your dreams, and your happiness. By saying no to distractions and negativity, you create space for focus, joy, and success. In the end, protecting your peace is about recognizing that your energy is sacred. Not everyone deserves access to it, and not every situation is worth your attention. The stronger your boundaries, the calmer your life becomes. And when your life is calm, you have the strength to build, create, and live fully. So remember, every time you say no to what doesn't serve you, you are saying yes to your peace. And there is no greater investment you can make. In a world that is constantly loud and demanding, silence and solitude often feel foreign, even uncomfortable. Many people fill every moment with noise, endless conversations, scrolling through social media or surrounding themselves with others just to avoid being alone. But the truth is, silence and solitude are not weaknesses. They are powerful tools that can transform your life. When used intentionally, they give you clarity, build your confidence, and set the foundation for lasting success. Clarity begins in silence. Think about how often people make decisions under pressure, influenced by outside voices and societal expectations. They rush into choices without truly understanding what they want. This happens because they never take the time to be still and listen to themselves. Silence strips away the noise and allows you to connect with your inner voice. In those quiet moments, you can reflect on your values, your goals, and your priorities. You can ask yourself honest questions. Am I living authentically? Am I chasing what matters to me or just what looks good to others? Clarity doesn't come from the world shouting at you. It comes from listening deeply to your own soul. Solitude, too, plays a vital role in personal growth. Being alone does not mean being lonely. In fact, solitude gives you the space to recharge, to think without interruption, and to strengthen your relationship with yourself. People often fear solitude because they have never truly gotten to know themselves. But when you embrace it, you realize that being comfortable in your own company is one of the greatest forms of freedom. You no longer depend on constant validation or companionship to feel complete. Instead, you become grounded in who you are. Confidence is another gift of silence and solitude. When you spend time alone, you learn to trust your thoughts, your instincts, and your decisions. You no longer feel the need to conform to every opinion or seek approval for every choice. This inner confidence radiates outward. People can sense when someone is deeply secure in themselves, and that security commands respect without a word being spoken. Confidence is not built in crowds. It is built in the quiet discipline of working on yourself day after day when no one else is watching. Silence and solitude also prepare you for success. Every great thinker, leader, and creator in history has valued time alone. Writers retreat into solitude to create masterpieces. Innovators find breakthroughs in quiet reflection. Leaders seek silence to strategize and make wise decisions. Success does not come from being endlessly busy. It comes from being deeply focused. And focus is impossible without moments of stillness. When you give yourself time away from distractions, you enter a state of deep work where creativity and productivity flourish. Moreover, silence protects your energy. Not every argument requires your response. Not every insult deserves your reaction. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is remain silent. Silence disarms negativity and keeps you in control of your emotions. It allows you to choose your battles wisely and conserve energy for what truly matters. When you learn the strength of silence, you stop wasting time defending yourself and start investing time in building yourself. In solitude, you also learn the art of self-discipline. Without external pressures, you must rely on your own willpower to stay consistent. This builds resilience because you are no longer motivated only by outside accountability, you are driven by inner purpose. That self-discipline carries into every area of your life, from your habits to your career to your relationships. The truth is, silence and solitude are not empty, they are full. They are full of answers, strength, and possibilities that can only be found when you step away from the noise. The more comfortable you become in silence, the clearer your path becomes. The more you embrace solitude, the more you realize that you are never truly alone, you are always with yourself, and that relationship is the foundation of everything else. So, if you want clarity, confidence, and success, learn to value silence. Learn to embrace solitude. It is in the quiet moments that the strongest versions of yourself are born. One of the most overlooked truths in life is that what you focus on grows. When you focus on others, chasing their approval, begging for validation, or constantly trying to meet their expectations, you often end up feeling drained and unappreciated. But when you shift that focus inward, when you commit to building yourself, everything outside of you begins to change. Respect, love, and opportunities are not things you chase. They are things you attract by becoming the best version of yourself. Respect begins with self-respect. If you do not value yourself, it is difficult for others to value you. When you focus on yourself, you establish boundaries, you carry yourself with dignity, and you refuse to accept treatment that is beneath your worth. This creates an energy that others can feel. People are drawn to those who stand firm in who they are. They may not always agree with you, but they will respect you because you respect yourself. Respect is not demanded through force or pleading. It is earned by how you live and how you treat yourself. Love also follows this principle. Many people make the mistake of chasing love in others while neglecting the love they should give themselves. They seek happiness in external relationships, hoping someone else will complete them. But true, lasting love begins with self-love. When you focus on yourself, nurturing your mind, body, and soul, you become whole. From that wholeness, you naturally attract healthier relationships. Instead of clinging to toxic dynamics, you recognize your worth and only allow love that uplifts and honors you. People are magnetized to individuals who radiate self-love because it creates a sense of security, warmth, and authenticity. Opportunities are no different. They flow toward people who are prepared. When you focus on yourself, you sharpen your skills, improve your mindset, and build habits that make you ready for growth. You stop waiting for luck and start creating it. Employers, partners, and even strangers recognize discipline, ambition, and confidence when they see it. By working on yourself consistently, you place yourself in the right position at the right time. Opportunities are attracted to preparation, and preparation comes from focusing inward. Focusing on yourself also builds confidence that attracts all three: respect, love, and opportunities. Confidence is not arrogance. It is quiet assurance. It is the energy that says, I know my value, I know my direction, and I trust my path. That kind of confidence cannot be faked. It comes from real work, real growth, and real dedication. People are naturally drawn to confidence because it inspires them and makes them feel safe around you. Another reason self-focus attracts respect, love, and opportunities is because it raises your energy. When you are constantly drained by negativity, people sense it and often pull away. But when you are focused on your well-being, your peace, and your growth, your energy shifts. You exude positivity, determination, and self-control. This creates a powerful magnetism. Just like a well-tended garden attracts bees and butterflies, a well-tended self attracts good people, experiences, and opportunities. It's also important to understand that chasing things rarely works. When you chase respect, people may dismiss you. When you beg for love, you often push it further away. When you desperately seek opportunities, you may settle for less than you deserve. But when you focus inward, you reverse the dynamic. You don't need to chase. Things naturally come to you. People notice the way you carry yourself. They notice your discipline, your growth, your focus. And in noticing, they are drawn toward you. The truth is, life responds to the energy you put out. If your energy is scattered, insecure, and desperate, you attract chaos. If your energy is centered, confident, and purposeful, you attract abundance. This is why focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is the foundation for attracting everything you want in life. Respect, love, and opportunities are not found by running after them. They are found by building yourself so strongly that they cannot help but find you. The greatest battle you will ever fight is not with the outside world. It is with yourself. Many people think that success, peace, or happiness comes from controlling circumstances, managing others, or trying to bend life to their will. But the truth is, life is not mastered from the outside in. It is mastered from the inside out. The moment you learn to master your thoughts, emotions, habits, and choices, you gain control over the direction of your life. Self-mastery is the foundation for every achievement, every breakthrough, and every victory. Mastering yourself begins with discipline. Without discipline, even the best goals remain dreams. Discipline means doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It means training your mind to follow your vision instead of your impulses. Most people are slaves to their feelings. They start when they are motivated and quit when it gets hard. But those who master themselves push through discomfort. They wake up early when the bed feels warm. They exercise when laziness whispers excuses. They work when distractions call their name. Discipline is not punishment, it is freedom. Because when you master your habits, you no longer wait on motivation, you create results. Emotional control is another key aspect of self-mastery. Life will always bring challenges, conflicts, and unexpected storms. If you allow every insult to provoke you, every setback to discourage you, or every hardship to break you, then you are not in control, your emotions are. Mastering yourself means learning how to respond instead of react. It means staying calm when others lose control, thinking clearly under pressure, and choosing peace over chaos. This doesn't mean you suppress your emotions, it means you guide them. You acknowledge how you feel but refuse to let those feelings dictate your actions. That emotional stability is what gives you strength in moments where others fall apart. Self-mastery also requires self-awareness. You cannot master what you do not understand. Many people drift through life on autopilot, repeating the same patterns without realizing it. They sabotage relationships, procrastinate on goals, or numb themselves with distractions, all without questioning why. Self-awareness allows you to identify your weaknesses, your triggers, and your blind spots. Instead of blaming the world, you look within and take responsibility. That awareness is the first step to change. Once you see yourself clearly, you can make intentional choices that lead to growth instead of repeating cycles. Another part of mastering yourself is controlling your focus. Wherever your attention goes, your energy flows. If you constantly focus on problems, negativity, or other people's lives, you waste your potential. But if you direct your focus inward, toward learning, building, and improving, you create momentum. Self-mastery means knowing how to block out distractions and channel your energy into the things that matter most. The person who controls their focus controls their future. Confidence, too, is born from self-mastery. When you know you can rely on yourself, when you've built discipline, emotional control, and focus, you naturally feel confident. Confidence is not about pretending to be strong, it's about knowing you've put in the work to be strong. That inner certainty gives you the courage to take risks, pursue opportunities, and stand firm in your values. People who master themselves don't need constant validation because their confidence comes from within, not from the approval of others. Ultimately, mastering yourself gives you freedom. Freedom from laziness, freedom from fear, freedom from the opinions of others. It allows you to live intentionally, not reactively. And once you have that freedom, you truly begin to master life. Challenges still come, but they no longer control you. Temptations appear, but they no longer sway you. Negativity arises, but it no longer robs you of peace. You become the driver of your life, not a passenger. The truth is simple. If you cannot master yourself, life will master you. But if you learn to master yourself, your thoughts, your habits, your emotions, then no matter what life throws at you, you will remain steady. That is the power of self-mastery. It is the foundation not only for success, but also for fulfillment, peace, and lasting happiness.